In June 1947, rancher Mac Brazel was checking his sheep in the New Mexico desert when he stumbled across a mile-long trail of debris scattered across the dirt. A few weeks later, the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release that exploded across the globe. The military explicitly claimed they had captured a flying disc, but the next day the story abruptly changed. At a press conference in Fort Worth, military officers presented a pile of ordinary-looking tinfoil and rubber. General Roger Rainey pointed to these exact pieces and told the world the flying disc was nothing more than a routine high-altitude weather balloon. The local officer who drafted that initial press release lacked the top-secret clearance to recognize what was actually sitting in that desert field. The public was right to suspect a lie. That weather balloon was a cover story designed to hide a high-stakes Cold War espionage operation. The wreckage that Brazel found was highly unusual. He described wooden sticks, tough rubber strips, and a metallic memory foil that couldn't easily be cut or burned. In the 1990s, the Air Force declassified the source of that debris, a program called Project Mogul, built to listen for Soviet nuclear tests from the edge of space. This diagram shows a Project Mogul array. Massive vertical trains of high-altitude balloons carried specialized equipment. Strung along the line were acoustic microphones to pick up atomic explosions, alongside radar reflectors to track the balloons. That memory foil found in the desert was exactly this, one of the early radar-reflecting materials used by Mogul engineers. And the wooden sticks and rubber strips were the standard, lightweight structural components holding those massive sensor arrays together. The project was entirely off the books, so when a Mogul balloon train launched on June 4th went missing, it matched the timing, location, and material of the Roswell discovery perfectly. The wreckage Brazel recovered consisted of the scattered, misunderstood components of a pioneering American acoustic spy array. In 1947, the United States was working to determine if and when the Soviet Union would successfully test their own atomic weapons. Acknowledging Project Mogul would have alerted Stalin that the American military had a working method to detect his secret nuclear tests. To protect that capability, the military needed an unremarkable excuse to neutralize public interest. A crashed weather balloon provided that perfect cover. By deploying a rigid cover story to protect a piece of espionage, the military unintentionally planted the seed for a global UFO legend. Years after the event, witnesses began coming forward with stories of seeing small bodies and secretive military autopsies at the Roswell base. The Air Force's 1997 Case Closed report investigated these claims and tracked the descriptions back to separate military experiments. During the 1950s, the military regularly dropped life-sized crash test dummies dressed in silver suits from high-altitude balloons to test parachute equipment. Over several decades, witnesses who saw these dummies in the 1950s blended those memories with the 1947 debris recovery. The alien autopsies were a psychological illusion, fragments of real, unusual military tests conducted years apart, stitched together by memory into a single timeline. Even the latest declassified files from the 2026 Pursue program treat the Roswell incident as historical context. Exhaustive reviews of government records have produced no evidence of extraterrestrial craft or bodies, reinforcing the Project Mogul explanation. Yet the legend refuses to fade. That retracted press release, combined with Cold War secrecy, created a perfect storm for suspicion. The military's refusal to be transparent in 1947 generated a cultural distrust that modern declassified reports cannot fully erase. Ultimately, the real Roswell story exposes the extreme lengths of human ingenuity and the heavy price of government paranoia during the early years of atomic weapons development.